Hey friends, it's Rach with the Ponds Farmhouse, and I'm so excited to be back with you today with another fun craft. This is one of my favorite ones that I've done so far. This is a tulip that looks like it's still in the bulb, and we're making these in all heights to do for a centerpiece. So I cannot wait to show you how easy this is to make. I know it doesn't look that easy, but really it is. All you need is some craft paper. That's going to create your bulb. You're going to need a little bit of this Spanish moss, just a touch, just to kind of make it look like it's authentic bulb. You're going to need a dowel rod for the height that you want your tulip. You're also going to need some of this, what is this called? This is actually just some streamers. But it's crepe paper streamers, and we're using that to wrap this and to make our leaves. So you're going to need some of these little green floral wires that'll help to shape them. You're also going to need some coffee filters and some water, and we're going to need some paint. And I'm using 2 shades of pink and this is goldenrod yellow. So this is, see, this one is hot pink. This one is SeaShell pink. So we're also going to be using recycling some glass jars, and I've got different sizes, but this is actually one that, let's see, horseradish came in this. And so this is a really good size to make the bulb with. And so, oh, about forgot, you also need a champagne flute, some wire cutters, some scissors, a hot glue gun, and some paper plates. And then you're going to have everything that you need to create these gorgeous tulip bulbs. So if this sounds like fun, let's get started. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the coffee filters and get them ready to become our tulips. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of straightening these out, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this from about right here, and we're going to narrow this down because we don't want them too wide, and bring it up and just kind of round it off at the top there. Okay, then, and I've got about 4 of them here. We need 6 of these for each of our tulips. So I went ahead and cut that in 2 at the bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some little strips to it. And what we're going to do is these little strips are actually going to be the center of the flower. And then the rest of this is going to be the tulip petals. Let's see, I think I've got, do I have 4? Yes, okay. And then, so I'm going to need to do 2 more of these, but let me go ahead and show you first how I'm going to make these work. I have a paper plate that I've been using, so it's already got some paint on it. So I'm going to turn these over and lay them out on this paper plate. And the very first, this has already got a little bit of paint in it, but the first thing you want to do is go ahead and moisten these and I just have a little spray bottle with water in it, and I'm just going to wet them down till they almost disappear on the plate. Okay, and then I'm going to start out with my, this is the Marigold. And these are just about empty, so I'm just using them straight out of the bottle. But what we want to do, is we want to go ahead and get these little ends where this is going to be the center of our flower. So we want to get those little, where we cut those little ends a few minutes ago. Remember that? So these are all little cut ends. And then flowers have a lot of different colors in them. So if you've got a little yellow running in with the pink, it's not going to be a big deal. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and get the pink laid in. And again, this does not have to be anything precise. You just want to get some color on it. And you could do any color that you chose. These would be gorgeous in yellow or any other color, like brighter pinks or reds. Any color that you like in tulips. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of the lighter pink. This is called SeaShell pink, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that. This again is about empty, so I'm just going to kind of highlight some of this. Doesn't have to be anything special. Okay, and then what I'm going to do next is go ahead and take a plate that has dried, and I'm going to go ahead and lay these out on that. Now you can kind of see a little bit better what the design is because it's not melted into the plate. I'm going to go ahead and lay these out onto this little paper plate, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the microwave for 1 minute. It's going to be in the microwave for a minute, and then we're going to show you what they look like. Okay, now we have 6 of these petals ready to make our tulips. So let me show you how we're going to do this. We need our champagne flute and our hot glue gun, and the very first thing that we want to do is go ahead and put the very first piece on. And what we want to do is make sure that these little, where we've cut it, is in the center. And so what we're going to do is just fold that into the glass and then wrap the other part all the way around. Okay, so that's the first step. Then, to add the second one, we need to add a little bit of hot glue, and we're going to overlap these. Now, we don't want them to be you know, all in a row. We want them wrapped around each other. So we're going to go ahead and put another one on. And when we get that one on, we want to go ahead and, again, kind of fold it around the glass. The champagne flute is what's going to give this the look that we want for a tulip. We'll put some on both sides this time. And we're going to fold this in and go ahead and, it's a little hot, so be careful. Tuck these ends in and fold this around. Okay, now we've got 3 more to go, so we're going to, once again, kind of overlap. Put the corners in. You want to make sure they go in straight. Kind of push in those ends there to the center. And we're going to come across here with another one. These colors just turn out so pretty with this. When you wet it down with the water, it makes everything run and look really pretty. Okay, here comes the last one. We're going to put a little bit more hot glue right here. And we're going to go ahead and tuck that in, turn it around. Okay, so now we've got everything on, and we want to be sure that this is really good and secure on here. And then what we want to do is kind of wrap the coffee filter flower petals around this champagne flute. So as you can see, I'm just kind of squeezing it around it to make it look a little bit more like a tulip. Okay, so then we're going to pull out our center here, and you can see one thing I try to do is just kind of go back in and kind of get this in there. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get our dowel rod, and this dowel rod is has been wrapped in the raffia. I mean, not the raffia. It has been wrapped in the crepe paper streamer here, and so we've just gone ahead and wrapped it up. And then what we're going to do is we need to make this fit right in here. So what I need to do is go ahead and kind of squeeze this together, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just kind of like squeeze it in, just kind of tucking in the corners and everything. And once you do that, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your hot glue and you're going to fill this up with the hot glue and take the end of your dowel rod and go ahead and stick it into the hot glue. So this is kind of difficult for me to do on camera, so I'm going to go ahead and just get it in there and squeeze it. We want to get that really, really tight in there, okay? And then we're going to put that dowel rod in there, and then when we turn it over, we've got this gorgeous tulip flower. So let me go ahead and get that put together, and then we're going to add some leaves to this, and we'll be ready to put it in our little container. Okay, while that's setting up, I'm going to go ahead and make my leaf here, and the way I'm going to do this is use this streamer, crepe paper streamer, and we're going to use one of these floral sticks. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all decide how tall I want my leaf to be. So here we've got the flower on the dowel rod. It's set up now, and I want my leaf to be almost as tall as this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this first, and then I'm going to cut my floral wire. So we're going to cut that about right there, okay? Then what we need to do is we need to fold this. So we're going to go ahead and fold the crepe paper. And it's kind of stretchy, so try to not overstretch it. But we want to get a nice little fold here. Okay, and then once we have it folded, we're going to cut just kind of on an angle here and rounded so that it comes up to a peak. Okay, and then we're going to open that up. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add hot glue. So I'm just going to try to put it right in the crease here where I've folded it. So you just want to run it right along there as straight as you can. I'm not doing too good a job here. Need to get a little closer to it. But just go all the way down to the end of your crepe paper. Okay, and then we're going to add the stick, which is this floral wire. And what you want to do is just kind of squeeze it in there into that glue and kind of keep it straight as you go. They're kind of curvy, so sometimes it's hard to get them exactly where you want it. Okay, then just make sure it's adhered good into there. Okay. And I've already got one other one ready, so we've got two of them now. And what we're going to do is we're going to open this back up now that it's dry. And let me make sure this one, yeah, there we go. And you can bend them any way you want to, but the very first thing I'm going to do is bend this a little bit right here, just so that when the hot glue attaches to it, it kind of bows away from the flower. So we've got our cute little flower here, and we're ready. And I'm going to cut a little bit of this excess off right here. We got some stuff that don't need to be on there. Okay. I'm also going to get a little bit more crepe paper ready, because sometimes you need it to help adhere the leaves to the stem. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first one. Let's see, this one I haven't bent. Let me go ahead and bend it. Whoop. Okay, and it's the tallest one, so I'm going to put it like right here. That one's actually, it's not glued on there good, so I'm going to put a little bit more hot glue there. And get that wrapped around that a little bit better, because you need it to be secure. Okay, let's do the other one first, okay, because it's already good and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and see how that, it's hard to tell. I'm lining that up with the flower, so I'm going to go ahead and put the hot glue on here. And I'm going to put a little bit on the edges of it. Okay, and then we're going to attach it to here and wrap it around. Okay, see how that went? Okay, and I'm going to take a little bit, put a little bit more glue right here. And I'm going to put this piece onto it. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap it. So I'm going to wrap that around just a couple of times. Whoops, getting my finger in it. Let's wrap it one more time so we can cover that up. Okay, so see, now it's real secure on there. And so then we want to get the other one ready. So let's go ahead and put some hot glue on it. My hot glue stick is not in there good. So we're going to put some hot glue here. And we're going to come in right beside of this one and add it in. And this time I'm going to take and go backwards with this and wrap it. So get it really good and tight here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Go ahead and get that folded out. And this one folded out this way. All right, now we're getting there. Just a little bit more of the crepe paper streamer. Got a little out of hand that time. Put just a little bit there. Okay, now wrap it around to make sure we've got everything good and secure. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more glue. And we're almost finished with this part. Okay, so now we have our gorgeous flower with our leaves attached. Okay, so now we're going to put our flower into our container. Okay, that's our next step. And so what we want to do first is I have some pebbles I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put those into the jar first. And then I'm going to actually put the, I hope you can see this, I'm going to put some hot glue onto my stick here, and then I'm going to stick it down into the, I hope you can see that. This is kind of an awkward situation here. Now I'm putting that in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and add more hot glue around where these little pebbles are attaching to it. Okay, so we want to get that secured. And I'm actually going to take some of this excess paper that came off of the, while I was cutting out the flower petals, and I'm going to stuff that down in there around. So we've got hot glue kind of helping to hold it in place. Okay, I'm going to stuff that down in there. And then that's getting pretty secure. But I also have a piece of the craft paper that I messed up. It stuck to the thing. So I'm going to stuff some of this around. Wait a minute, let me put a little bit more hot glue in there. Let's get this thing real secured. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of hot glue in. And then wrap this down in there. You know, upright. A little bit more hot glue, a little bit more paper. You can't get too much of this paper in there. It'll be good. Because this is the same paper that I'm using to make, to go around this to look like this is a bulb instead of a flower in a vase. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and add the paper. And what I did with this is just craft paper, but what I did was I soaked it in coffee and let it, and then dried it. And so it's kind of got a real organic look to it. And so what we're going to do now that we've got everything set, is we're going to go ahead and wrap this around the bulb. And I'm going to try to turn this on the side so you can kind of see. I'm going to just squeeze it around, all around, pull it up and around. Okay, and then because I don't really want to secure this with anything else, I'm just going to take a little hot glue, kind of get this secured on the sides here. I've also got just a little bit of this Spanish moss, and so we're going to use that inside of this as well. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I've kind of got it started. I'm going to put some hot glue down in here around the rim of the jar. And I think I told you earlier, this jar just had horseradish in it, so it's a recycled project as well. Okay, so now we're just going to squeeze that in there so that everything is set. Okay, we squeeze. And I'm going to kind of open it up just a little bit, put a little bit more hot glue inside, and add in a little bit of this Spanish moss. This will make it look a little bit more organic and hopefully make it feel like a real flower bulb. Didn't want to overdo this part because, you know, you want it to be feel as real as possible. So I'm just going to stick this down in there. Okay, and so now I see a couple places where the bag wants to kind of pull away. So I'm going to tighten that up. Okay, so now we have our little flower bulb at the base and our beautiful tulip at the top. So I'm going to turn this off and go ahead and show you what these look like together. I have 5 of them made, so I think you'll really enjoy it.